that's something that came about more as a joke. We were just sitting around Andy's room when we were kids, really, and he kept his records and bongs and Pine Mountain log boxes, so one of us suggested, hey, we should be the Pine Mountain logs, and it made us laugh a little bit, so it just kind of stuck and got shortened to the logs.
Do you remember any of our history?
Kind of. It started, we started originally as just kind of like a backyard party band back in like '93. We were all teenagers and played a few shows and stuff, but mostly just kegger parties and stuff back in the early '90s. '97 is when we started playing clubs. We did our first recording in '98, and that's when we really started getting serious about it, and went out on a couple tours in the late '90s, and since that point, you know, we went through a couple lineup changes. Ruben is our newest member, although he's been with us for what, 13 years now, 12 years?
Something like that.
Yeah, so
what is he, our third bassist?
Yeah, our third or fourth bassist, but he's our best and longest lasting, so this is the logs now, so well, in 2003, we played a show. It was kind of a last-minute thing for a friend. We had all of our equipment in our van.
It was a rent party, right?
Yeah,
it was just a rent party. Old school, taking it way back.
Helping a friend out, kind of, you know, and so we had all of our equipment, all of our guitars, amps, all our PA system, everything, you know, tens of thousands of dollars of equipment.
All our rubbers from Planned Parenthood that we were given.
Everything, and
Matt never got to use.
Damn it.
He stopped to have lunch in Riverside, and the van got stolen with all of our equipment in it, and you know, we finished out the shows that we had scheduled by borrowing friends' equipment and stuff, but it was like a real big punch in the gut, man. Like, really took the air out of ourselves, you know. Like, we were all kind of at a point where we had a lot of things going on personally. All of us had different personal issues and stuff, and
agendas.
Then all of our equipment getting stolen just kind of was like the last brick on the pile, you know, and it collapsed. So it was. We just knew it was all time. We all knew it was time to take a break. So we did. We didn't really know how long or exactly, or if we was ever gonna come back together at all. But you know, the timing seemed right when Andy called us all up and said, you know, hey, we should do a reunion show. And so we were like, yeah, it's been about 9 years, and it felt right again.
Yeah, we all had the bug to get back in it again.
Yeah.
It just took that little bit of, that little strike of the match to get it rolling, and it's rolling now.
That was
like back in the early 90s, there was a lot more, it was a lot more backyard oriented, man. Like shit, we used to play big backyard parties out in like Hemet and stuff with like 454 and Old Nick and the Voodoo Glow Skulls and stuff, you know. It was always keg parties, man, and everything back then. Anytime someone opened up a club to have music in the Inland Empire, they'd get shut down pretty quick. There was Spankies and billiards and all those places, but you know, riots would always happen. They'd always have problems, whatever. So they'd get shut down eventually. But now it's really cool. There's a lot more places that are band friendly, a lot more bars that have bands playing, and just a lot more clubs. And it's really cool. You know, there's always been great bands around the Inland Empire. Always, you know, a lot of great bands came out of the Inland Empire, but. Right now, it seems like we're in a new golden age, kind of. There's a lot of great bands in the Inland Empire right now, and it's an exciting time to be part of the music scene again.
And I think more bars and saloons and clubs, they're more open to having different genres of music, and now you see different different bills with like different genres of music, not just all a punk night, not just all a rock night, not just all a rap night. It's really changed now.
The music I see kids playing these days, and it's like so much mixed together that it was like there's music mixed together into genres now that weren't even existent when we started. And so it's pretty cool to see not only what we've done in the past grow, but additional just development of everybody's musical influence overall. It's been crazy.
We do have a new EP coming out, summer 2014. It's going to be a good one. Some of our best work ever.
When we first decided to come back together, it was really just as like, you know, let's get back together and do a reunion show, you know, and see how that goes. Just, you know, have some fun with it, you know, just get in a room together and play some music together, because it had been 9 years since the four of us had been together playing music. You know, like you know, we all did different things in different bands and stuff, but as the Logs, it had been 9 years, so we got back together, started rehearsals for the reunion show, and right away it was like, we got to write new songs, you know, like we started writing new songs, we got excited about it again, and the reunion show turned into a year of shows, and now that's led to us just finishing up our new recording, which we'll be releasing this summer.
And it was really crazy because as soon as we started playing, it was like the press just got on us right away. And you know, obviously some of them are our friends, and other of it was luck. But that's been a real cool thing to keep.
Yeah, it seemed like
everything inspired, everything new, everything keep going.
It turned into the right place at the right time, also for the Logs to be back. So. 2013, we got voted the best local punk band in the Inland Empire and Inland Empire Weekly magazine, which was fucking cool because, like I said, we had been away for 10 years at that point. We came back in May of 2013, and by October 2013, we got voted the best local punk band in the Inland Empire, and that was fucking cool because that was people actually having to go and put our name into a fucking survey and put it in their email address and all that shit and give out their information to vote for us, and enough people did to where we got the prize, so that was fucking cool. Aside from that, back in the 90s and stuff, we were occasionally in Battle of the Band here and there at places like Showcase Theater and stuff in Corona, you know.
That was badass, actually.
Yeah, we did some of those things, but no, we don't.
Well, we also had we had Scratch magazine back in the day. We were working with them a lot. We were doing album covers, covers for the magazine, and then we were on Planned Parenthood's Best Orange Counties, Best Bands of Orange County
compilation.
I don't even remember what freaking year
We've been
it
on
was.
several compilations,
and that was several times.
Riverside Skates, your Planned Parenthood compilation.
Yeah, which the Planned Parenthood was the Best Bands of Orange County, which I don't know exactly how we ended up on that because we're not from Orange County, but
it was great.
But it's still an honor anytime we end up on anything like that.
There was a lot of good bands on there. 7 Seconds, and there was Goldfinger. I can't remember them all, but I'm sure they know.
No, it's always cool to end up on anything like that.
Yeah.
But
the El Pocho Loco
as far as competition
goes,
we don't get into competitions too much, but it's fucking cool whenever we get a prize or any type of acknowledgement anywhere, you know. So.
Don't worry about it.
Smack each other around afterwards.
Yeah.
I usually get poked in the kidney with his guitar, hit in the back of the head. Something happens during the show.
Be rating that at the next rehearsal.
That's just it, you know.
Just talk shit to each other.
Mistakes during a live performance, that gets back to rehearse, man. Always be prepared. If one of us makes a mistake, generally it doesn't fuck up the rest of us, and we keep just going right through it, you know, and most of the time no one would know that we made a mistake except for the one who made it, you know. And like we said, you know, after the show, you know, we'll kick whoever's ass made the mistake, probably him.
Drummers never mess up.
But we've known each other for so long that we could say just whatever the hell we want to each other, what's on our minds, and we're not going to get offended at each other. We're going to take it as constructive criticism.
And the music melts together with that too. It's like if one of us decide to take the music one way, everyone else can catch on real quick, even though they might be like, "The hell are you doing?" Everyone, like Andy said, we've known each other for so long. There's a little bit of intuition there.
Or the Logs from Riverside.
Thanks to Brain Fragment for having us out, LiMN PIX. Thanks a lot.
No rage.
No offense.
Take all day.
Can we take both?
You just edit him out.
Yeah. It depends on when it's best. I like older, maybe pretty much the beginning, the spine. I think it's the best part.
I like I'm just a fan of punk rock, man. Like I've been a fan from the Ramones through, you know, Against Me, you know, and everything in between. You know, I still love a lot of bands that have been coming out these last few years. Like I said, mentioned Against Me, man. Like I fucking love those guys. I think they're amazing. I think a lot of bands in the scene right now, the Menzingers, there's a lot of exciting things out there. The Voodoo Glow Skulls are still around doing fucking great things.
Are great.
You know, for me, any time in the punk rock scene, man, it's just that's what gets me going, man. Like I love being a part of it. I've loved being a part of it through, you know, since the late '80s, and glad to still be a part of it, you know. So yeah, now I guess.
I'm gonna have to say I like both then and now. There's some parts I hate about then, some parts I hate about now, but I like both.
Well, I've always been a fan of making handmade. Like I said, we started back in the early '90s, back when everything was handmade flyers, and you go down to
Spending 3 hours in
Kinko's or at 7-Eleven or Circle K, whoever had 3-cent copies, man, and you get as much as made, and you go to the mall and hand them out until they kick you out. You know, all that shit. I mean, I had a lot of fun back in those days. You know, like cutting out fucking Matt magazine and making flyers out of it and shit. That was a lot of fun. You know, like. But nowadays with the social media and everything. I basically approach making flyers the same way. I basically do it by cutting things out and pasting them together to make what looks like a handmade flyer. But I'll tell you what, you know, it's a lot easier to have 10,000 people see it now than it was back then.
It's a lot
cheaper. I mean, so yeah, exactly. Like I kind of like digital flyers actually.
And it saves time. By the picture you want, you type it in and you get 1,000 pictures of the one you want.
Now that we still use paper flyers and cardboard flyers, you know, the better, the bigger the show, the more effort we put into it. But I think it's always good to get a little bit of paperwork out on the street and just let your fans or just kids or whoever actually just the touching of the paper and looking at it. It was always cool for us because when we grew up, I mean, those flyers were cool. They were like collectibles. Everybody collected them. And actually now, if anyone's in special groups or whatever on Facebook, you see all these old flyers from 10, 20, 30 years ago start coming back around, and a lot of people go, damn, dude, I was at that show. And it's just a real tangible way to, you know, create a spark with the fans.
So I guess we're going paper. Handmade. doesn't really make a difference to us.
It's fun to headline, but when you get a band that you're supporting, that you know it's their first or second time headlining, and you see the excitement on their face, that's a good feeling to be able to support them.
Or just opening for a much bigger band and trying to widen your fan base. It's always good to support it, you know, for a bigger band. It'll get you more fans.
Yeah, being invited, it's nice.
It's always one less stress.
Yeah, but booking is...
It's its own entity. Booking
Yeah, exactly. It's its own entity. You know, like being a band is one thing. You know, you're worried about your music, your songs, your image, whatever and stuff. Booking, all of a sudden, yeah, you're dealing with so many other problems. It's always more fun to be invited.
But then on the other hand, if you don't book, if you don't learn how to book, and you don't pay attention to your booking, well,
it's true.
That really hurts.
For most of the time, you have to learn to book first, then hopefully you start getting invited.
Yeah.
Build your connects, build your hit list, and hopefully it all falls in place. And in the end run, you book a show, you get invited to a show. You book another show, you maybe get invited to another show. It works out that way.
Physical copy.
Physical copy, baby. In fact, put it on wax.
Yeah,
Fuck
we would
it.
love to put out some vinyl, but
Yeah, we're
expensive and
we're old, so yeah, we like things that we can hold in our hands and look at.
pitching artwork, you know, I mean, I
Yeah,
guess it's the same,
exactly,
but it's
man.
not the same, it's not tangible. Somebody steals your laptop, you lost all your music if you don't have it backed up, I guess, but, you know, I think tangible.
But yeah, no, there's always something to, whether it's a record, a cassette, a CD, whatever, you know, just getting up, taking it out of the case, putting it onto the record player, putting it into your CD player, whatever, then going and sitting down and holding that in your hand and looking at the artwork, maybe having a lyric sheet or something like that. There's always been something fucking awesome to that, you know, that's what probably got us all interested in music when we were 2 or 3 years old, you know, looking at our parents' records and stuff.
Oh yeah, the old Santana ones.
So, you know,
and
yeah,
all
Kiss
those
record.
great art covers.
You know, that's what we grew up doing, and that's still the best to us, you know, having something you can hold in your hand.
I'm like turning an old Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, I gotta pee.
And the Logs, Love You World. And
Hope you check out this video. Thank you for watching.
holy,
You can edit him a little out.
It's still virus.
yeah, just cut that part out.
In that case, I'm gonna drop my drawers and sing the Star Spangled Banner.
It's true, I have my reason and my reason is you.